Hello, good morning. This is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. The Special Court for National Crime is expected to resume proceedings today with the first prosecution witness set to testify in the high-profile case against Dr. Riek Machar and several senior SPLM-IO officials. The Transitional National Legislative Assembly has passed a motion calling for the establishment of a sustainable cemetery management policy in South Sudan. And the U.S. government has now shut down as senators have failed to pass a last-minute funding bill. These are stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Lasuba Memo. And now the news in detail. The Special Court is expected to resume proceedings today with the first prosecution witness set to testify in the high-profile case against Dr. Riek Machar and several senior SPLM-IO officials. This marks the fifth session of the trial, which centers on the March 2025 attacks in Nasir County of Upper Nile State, one of the deadliest incidents in South Sudan's recent history. Prosecutors allege that Machar, along with 7 other top figures in the SPLM-IO, orchestrated a premeditated assault carried out by the White Army militia. The attack reportedly targeted a government military garrison and led to the death of dozens of soldiers and civilians. During the fourth session, lead prosecutor Joe Hissa said the violence was not spontaneous but rather a carefully coordinated operation planned and funded by the highest levels of SPLM-IO leadership. The charges against the accused include murder, terrorism, treason, war crimes and abuse of office, along with financing of terrorism under the 2012 Anti-Money Laundering and Counterterrorism Act. Dr. Machar, who is currently suspended from his role as first vice president, is accused of exercising command responsibility over the operation. Other defendants include former Petroleum Minister Port Kang Chol and SPLM-IO military chief Lieutenant General Gabriel Doblam. Today's witness is expected to provide direct testimony linking the attacks to the accused leadership. The prosecution plans to call over 100 witnesses and present forensic and communications evidence to support its case. In response, the lead defense lawyer Gary Raimondo also stated that his side will provide evidence during the court proceedings. The Transitional National Legislative Assembly has passed a motion calling for the establishment of a sustainable cemetery management policy in South Sudan. The motion was presented by Nyang Johnson Locke, who raised concerns about the lack of proper burial sites in the capital, Juba, where only one functioning public cemetery remains located along Yei Road. Several old graveyards in Gumbo, Juba, Nabare, New Side, High Malakal and Konyo have either been abandoned or illegally converted into residential settlements. Lawmakers said this situation has been worsened by rapid urban growth, lack of legal protection, and the absence of a national framework to safeguard burial grounds. Locke argued that unregulated burial practices, illegal land use, and the loss of heritage cemeteries have undermined the dignity of the deceased and posed serious public health concerns. The motion seeks to establish a national policy framework to secure new cemetery land, regulate burial practices in line with cultural and religious values, and protect existing sites. It also recommends a national audit of cemeteries, the creation of a cemetery registrar, and the establishment of a special cemetery for martyrs and members of organized forces. Lawmakers also cited examples from Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda and Rwanda, where governments have adopted clear policies to manage public cemeteries. After lengthy deliberations, the members passed a motion with all its recommendations and observations. Honorable Locke said the adoption of a National Cemetery Act will help preserve cultural identity, safeguard public health and ensure dignity in burial practices for future generations. The trial of 13 young men accused of gang raping a 16-year-old girl in Gumbo Shirikat is scheduled to begin today at a mobile court set up inside Juba Central Prison. The attack, which took place in June, was recorded and circulated on social media, sparking widespread public outrage and condemnation from civil society, women's groups and human rights organizations. Speaking to iRadio on September 26, 2025, Advocate Godfrey Victor Bullen, who represents the survivor, confirmed the court had officially scheduled the first hearing for October 1st at the High Court sitting in the prison facility. According to a referral letter from the public prosecution, the 13 suspects face 4 charges, including acts committed by several persons in furtherance of a common intention, criminal intimidation by anonymous communication, detaining a person for unlawful sexual conduct, and robbery. Bullen criticized the delay in assigning a judge to the case, noting that the police had completed the investigation months ago and forwarded the file to the court. He said the delay denied the survivor a fair and timely trial. The advocate also revealed that some suspects who were initially released were later rearrested. This is Radio Morning News, and now to the international scene. Former Democratic Republic of Congo President Joseph Kabila has been sentenced to death in absentia for war crimes and treason. The charges concern accusations that Kabila has been supporting the M23, a rebel group that have wreaked devastation across the country's eastern region. Kabila was convicted on Friday by a military court of treason, crimes against humanity, and war crimes, including murder, sexual assault, torture, and insurrection. He denied the charges but did not appear in court to defend himself. The ex-president rejected the case as arbitrary and said the courts were being used as an instrument of oppression. His current whereabouts are unknown. The U.S. government has now shut down as senators have failed to pass a last-minute funding bill. The shutdown, the first since 2018-2019, could bring some, but not all, U.S. government services to a temporary halt. President Donald Trump threatens mass irreversible firings of federal workers under a shutdown. Republican Senator John Thune says the party won't be taken hostage, while the Senate's top Democrat, Chuck Schumer, says Republicans tell lies. This is Radio Morning News, and to end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. The Special Court for National Crimes is expected to resume proceedings this morning, with the first prosecution witness set to testify in the high-profile case against Dr. Riek Machar and several senior SPLM-I officials. The Transitional National Legislative Assembly has passed a motion calling for the establishment of a sustainable cemetery management policy in South Sudan. And the U.S. government has now shut down as senators have failed to pass a last-minute funding bill. That's the end of iRadio Morning News. If there is a story or an event you'd like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message at +211 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page iRadio, subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at the top of the hour. Meanwhile, we would like to remind the public or the listener that our official Facebook page has been interrupted, and we urge you to like our iRadio Sports page, where iRadio publishes stories temporarily as the problem is being fixed. So you can just go to iRadio Sport and open that and just click follow. We would love to have you on that platform, as that's where we are actually posting our stories, and that's where you can get the very latest information. Thank you.